Allow me, Asharala, before we go into this lesson, give all honor, all glory, and all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makakwadash. We give double honor to the apostles and prophets and elders of JMS Camp, and our great millstone, for the bring forward the 100% truth that I bring currently edified under. Shalom to the elect, the tabernacle of David, and I am Roberta Zaria coming through this lesson. Now, the topic of the lesson is the promises to the seed of Abraham going down to Isaac and Jacob, which is going to his promised seed, right? And we start with Hebrews chapter 11. The point is at verse 9, but I go up to verses 8 to be exact to start off, because it already outlines who that chosen seed starts and finishes from, which is goes into the children of Israel, as we know. Now we just need to make that clear and to make that more prominent, to drill it into the minds of the new listeners so that you can have full understanding as to why we say salvation is for the children of Israel and only for the children of Israel according to the scriptures. And we'll prove to you today in that we'll do even though our lesson by the name of salvation is for the children of Israel after that if need be, right? So let's go into let's start with Hebrews chapter 11. Start at verses 8. The point is at verse 9. Let's go. It says, by faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into the place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. Alright? So firstly, let me just make this clear. We know according to the scriptures, according to law and testimony, that Abraham had full faith in the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because after he was given the notion and what he would have received, he didn't even hesitate like many people do. All right? And what is faith according to the scriptures? We was already on it. Just go up. Hebrews chapter 11 verses 1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And you see Abraham demonstrating that faith after he received that understanding that he believed in the words of the Father. And what did he do? He proceeded to do as he said, in showing the two parts of faith, having belief and with belief having the actions behind it, which demonstrates your obedience to the words of Yahweh Shemir according to the scriptures. All right? We have that understanding when you go into the book of James chapter 2 and verse 16 to about 24, 22 or something like that. It gives you the outline of faith, right? Being two sides. And we could even show you in the scriptures, I know we train a little bit, but let's just show you in scriptures of Abraham demonstrated faith after receiving the words of Yahweh Shemir. It says, "So Yahweh said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country, from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed." It goes on to say, so Abraham departed as Yahweh had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. So you see, he had no hesitation. After hearing the word of the Father, what did he do? He left his kindreds and went to where what he was guided to go according to the scriptures, showing his faith in Yahweh by his obedience to Yahweh, which is an action to be exact. But again, the point is at verse 9, which we're not going straight from Hebrews chapter 11, but I just show it as making a point clear. So it's hard for someone to come and say, just believe and that's it. No, through your belief, you will be obedient unto the word that is demonstrated as given unto you. That is what shows your faith, really and truly. Let's keep going. Hebrews chapter 11 verses 9. It says, by faith he sojourned in the land of promise, like I said, as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob. Listen, the heirs with him of the same promise. We didn't need to go further here, but like I said, this lesson is really to drill the understanding into you that is only for the children of Israel according to the scriptures. Because we go according to the law and testimony. And what does Isaiah 8:20 says to the law and to the testimony? If they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. So let's now continue with this, because this is the reason why. You're seeing it outlined the seed of Abraham, which was referring to. That's why Paul, when he went to the book of Romans chapter 9, made it very clear. We start verse 3, we finish with 7 to make it even more understanding for you. It says, Romans 9 and 3 select. I say Romans 3. Romans 9 chapter 3 select. It says, for I could wish that myself were accursed from a Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh. What does it mean to be brethren and kinsmen? According to the flesh. It means to be what? Of the same seed line. Go back to the same genealogy or lineage, which goes from what? To the children of Israel. Because we know Paul is a tribe, an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin according to the scriptures. He was just a Roman citizen, but he descended from Israelites, from Israel itself, the children of Israel, starting with Benjamin to be exact, or Banyaman to be exact. I think that's how it's pronounced. Banyaman to be exact. Somebody can correct me on that. But as you go on to say, who are Israelites to whom pertain the adoption, like I said, and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises. Let's continue. Whose are the father, of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all power, blessed forever. Amen. Let's keep going. Listen to what it says. Not as though the word of power had taken none effect, for they are not of Israel, which are of Israel. And all this is going into that there are many Jakes that are ungodly and likened to wickedness, which have been exiled and would have been exiled because of their actions according to the scriptures. Because a very good example to this is when you go to the book of Maccabees, like that precept immediately 1 and verses 11, straight to the point. It says what? In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrows. Which, when you go into the Torah, the laws in Leviticus chapter 18 verses 29 to 31 to 30, it roughly paraphrasing, but it outright outlines your punishments for making a covenant or for with the heathens, also for keeping the customs of the abominable customs of the heathens, which is what? Cut off. In other words, exiled. Hence why when you go back into Romans chapter 9 and verse 6, it clearly shows you how. That's why it says, for they are not of Israel, they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. So they are Israelites, but practicing different customs, adhering to different ways and religions, and making covenants with other nations. You would remove yourselves from the Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is all going into. So they were not all of Israel, because they were not all obedient to the words and ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Simple. Let's go into verse 7. It says, neither because they are of the seed of Abraham are they all children, because we know Abraham had many sons. But listen to it, says, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So again, go back into Hebrews 9. Isaac and Jacob were the heirs to the promise that Abraham had received. That's why it's saying, Isaac shall thy seed be called. And we know as well, Isaac had two sons, which was Jacob and Esau. So who is the seed of that was given unto Salak? Who was the seed? The promise. Which seed was the promise given unto? Salak. That's what I'm trying to say. Which seed was the promise given unto? We saw it in Hebrews chapter 11. It has not changed, which is why sometimes it has confused me to hear how Christians talk. You are blatantly lying by trying to add in everyone when that promise was only to a specific nation, which are of Israel, none else, by their descendants or their lineage, nothing else. But let's keep going. Let's prove ourselves even more to show you it's actually only Israel. Let's read. Let's go into the Apocrypha. Let's go into 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verses 13. Let's see what happens and who the Father has chosen and who the Father has set aside. Let's read. It says in verse 13, 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 13, it says, Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them whose name was Abraham. Him thou lovedest, and unto him only thou showedest thy will. You hear that? And madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. You hear the promise? Let's keep going. Going first, it says, And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau. Like I said, the two sons of Isaac. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau. So who was the one chosen, that chosen seed? It was Jacob. And who did the Father put aside? It was Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. Who is that great multitude? Even going into the book of Revelations, mentioned too. You can get it in the definitions in the words. It goes back to the children of Israel. The 12 recipients of the children of Israel, straight as you can get it. Which is what? His sons. Jacob's sons. So, and just to make sure that you understand this, let me get another precept to even put it even further to where you can't deny it. So I could title this lesson, It's an Undeniable Fact that the promise is to the seed of Abraham, going to the seed of Abraham, which is Isaac, and to Jacob. Simple as you can get it, right? So chapter 24 and verse 6, it says, In the waves of the sea, and in all the earth, and in every people and nation, I got a possession. Who is that possession according to the scriptures? Even though it already told you, you can get it in Joel chapter 2 and verse 27, which, let me grab that real quick before you go into what it tells you anyways, all right? And it says, And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and I am Yahweh your power, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. So it's showing you outright who he is dealing with. Let's go into Sirach, going further part after Joel, way further part, right? Let's read 24 and going back to verses 7 now. Let's read, and it says, With all these I sought rest, and in whose inheritance shall I abide? Here it says, The Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, Let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in who? Israel. Straight, clear cut. Straight, clear cut. Let's get another precept before you close out, right? So, I go into the book of Psalms chapter 105 and verses 6 to 10, where it says what? O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Israel, his chosen. Who is the seed of Abraham? It tells you, O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. He is Yahweh, our power, and his judgments are in all the earth. He had remembered his covenant forever, for whatever, which means what? all you foolish Christians like to say that, the laws are done away with and that Israel were cast away. He had remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath with unto Isaac, and he confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, one more time, for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Hence why the scripture tells you, my covenant will I not break, nor alter the things that are gone out of my lips, because he made a promise that is going to come to pass and is going to stay strong and its foundation forever. It's not going to break. It's not going to cease. It's going to come to pass until our salvation is remain sure. There's nothing y'all could do about it. There's nothing y'all could do to stop it. So stop trying to add in these other nations when it's not for them to begin with. Just saying. Just saying. Because even when they go into the book of Acts, listen to what it says. In the book of Acts, who the salvation was for. In the book of Acts. We already get the understanding in Romans. There's no going around that. But come on. Acts 13 and verses 26. 23. Well, the point, let's have the 23. It says, of this man's seed had power, straight to the point, according to his promise, raised unto Israel. Unto who? Israel. Unto who? Israel. Unto Esau? No. Unto Moab? No. Unto Ammon? No. Unto Ishmael? No. Unto Hamite? No. Unto Japheth? No. Only to who? Of this man's seed had power, according to his promise, raised unto Israel a Savior. Let's keep going. Of this, when John had first preached before his coming the baptism of repentance to all the people of Israel, which you can get the same account in John chapter 1 and verses 31, straight to the point. Yet again, let's read. It says, right, let me from verse 31, straight to the point again. And I knew him not, but that he should be made manifest to Israel. Who is he? Going back into verse 29. The next day John said, Yahushua coming unto him, and said, behold, the Lamb of power, which taketh away the sins of the world. Who is the world going into? Come on. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 17. Straight to the point, like I preached before you continue. I want to butcher it. I want to stray, but Israel, one more time, but it didn't say anything. But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. One more time, world without end. So who is the world is referring to? John chapter 1 and verse 31. I'm going to 31. It's referring to who? The nation of Israel, because the salvation is for them, which we read. Going to the everlasting covenant and the promise, which we just read, to the seed of Abraham, and in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Abraham, Isaac going to Jacob. Jacob name changing to Israel, and thus bringing forth the Israelites today. Romans 9, 3 and 4, salvation is for the children of Israel. Can't get around that. So let's continue. Right, so again, and this is again take out the sins of the world. We have to identify one thing. What is sin? Transgressions of the law. Who was given the law? Again, children of Israel, which we just read in Surah chapter 24 and verses 8, I believe. No, wrong precept. I believe it was Psalms 105 verses 6 to 10. Again, plain as day. It's in the lesson, so we can get it. You can also pull it back if we need to. Right? This is he of whom I said, after me cometh a man which is preferred before me, for he was before me. Listen to what it says. And I knew him not, but that he should be made manifest to who? Israel. Therefore I am come baptizing with water. So who would John be baptizing to? If the Messiah is coming to Israel, John going to be baptizing everybody else and not Israel? Or would it only be Israel, since Yahweh Shai Hamashiach is coming for Israel? Like that's I'm putting this out there for a reason, so those who couldn't grasp it before, it's made clear again. So let's go back into the book of Acts chapter 13 and going back into verse 23, 24, 25, select. And as John fulfilled his course, put this down so I can see better. Select, right. And as John fulfilled his course, he said, whom think ye that I am? I am not he. But behold, there cometh one after me, whose shoes of his feet I am not worthy to loose. It says, men and brethren, listen to what it says, men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham. You already identify who is the stock or the seed of Abraham. And whosoever among you feareth Yahweh, to you is this word of salvation sent. Now clearly, cut it right there. We know people would like to jump and say, Esau, Edom. No, sorry, Bob. Because according to the scriptures, like that precept immediately, Isaiah 26 and verses 10. Our scriptures make clear that if he ever showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness in the land of the uprightness, in the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of power. So therefore Esau, Edom, the wicked, cannot learn righteousness because he has identified. Let me make that clear. Firstly, he's identified as the wicked, and number two, he was created so that Yahweh could demonstrate his wrath, demonstrate his power unto him. He is used as a vessel, as a weapon, also as a means of punishment to our people and to the other nations, and also just to be demonstrated, just to be destroyed after from the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Let's read. I hated Esau and laid his mountains and heritage his waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh had indignation forever. So, who is the people, who is the so-called wicked outlined in the scriptures? The border of wickedness. For it to be called the border of wickedness, there's only one name that you could have. Literally. So, hence, Esau cannot learn righteousness. So, therefore, don't even include here in that. Because that is only going to those that were given the what? The ways of the Father, which are the children of Israel, going back into the descendants. Simple, from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as we mentioned. That's what the lesson is about. So let's go into Sirach chapter 19 and verse 20. Let's make it very clear. Very, very clear. Right? The fear of Yahweh is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law, and the knowledge of his omnipotency. In order for you to obtain, in order for you to fear Yahweh, you have to do something. Be obedient unto his word. And did Yahweh give his word unto the other nations, or only to the children of Israel, starting with what? I want to know, like, did he give Ishmael and all the other nations? No, because it would not make sense. Because they have their different doctrines and beliefs that they have to go by, and we have Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which our foundation is. And he gave, like mentioned, he gave his laws and an everlasting covenant to the children of Israel. Okay, next precept before you close out. That's all right. No, I think it's lower down. Alright, no, so that's about it. So I hope this lesson was edifying. It identifies who the promise to the children of the promise is to the seed of Abraham going and unto Isaac, and the seed of Abraham, just Isaac and Jacob. Alright. So Shalom Yasharala, Kal Halalyam, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. We give double honors to the apostles and prophets and elders of James Camp, and us great millstone, for they bring forward the 100% truth that I be currently edified under. Shalom to the elect, tabernacle of David. And I, Roberto Zariak, saying to you, Shalom.